When last we left our intrepid space explorers, they were exploring space on
Actually, we kind of weren't.
the planet that has been named. Um, it has been
Atlantis.
named Atlantis by
Right.
Wilberforce
By
Jericho,
its rightful king.
Oh, jeez.
by somebody who is claiming to be its rightful king. Although at the moment, the only thing that you can tell you are king of is the things that attacked you last time, and the small
And they're dead for daring to strike their king.
and the small ruins that you are attempting to explore with Dr. Stephen Albert. I realized the other day that I was once again calculating the damage wrong for the combat. So just to clarify
Thank
that,
God. Otherwise, we would be dead for sure.
yeah,
Oh no,
yeah.
this is a bad clarification.
Here's the deal. Okay, so when you roll on damage, let's see, where's my damage subtable? It's down here somewhere. The game is buffering. Okay, if you're unarmed, you do a base damage of either 0 or 1. And you roll a d6 to determine that, which means that if you roll, and it's a d6 minus 1, so if you roll a 1 on your d6, you do 0 damage. Any other number, you do 1 point of damage. If you are unarmed, and that is the base damage for everybody, unless you're a mantis or some other type of creature. You get +1 for every 2 strength levels above 10 to that. You also get +1 if you are wielding a blaster pistol, +2 if you are wielding a blaster rifle, and possibly more than that if you are wielding a really awesome weapon that I will not name because maybe there are cool other weapons out there you don't know about.
I want a railgun.
I have a combat knife with a scope on it. That should count for
Right.
something, right?
The
Hand up bipod.
combat knife will probably
Always put
be
a bipod on your combat knife.
It's right there in my inventory. It literally says combat knife +1 to hit in parentheses with a bipod and a scope. So
It's a biscope and a pod.
I think that should be worth at least like 2 extra points of damage.
probably 1. But
Well,
Bipod up for that.
all right. Hey, listen.
Okay,
I
so-
don't make the rules, man.
just to clarify that everybody was doing more damage in that last round of combat, but I like the way that combat works. So I think for future reference, all like ship or all planet based combat will work like that. Kind of
So,
Final
for
Fantasy.
reference, did I or did I not get half of my face clawed off?
Yes, but we'll leave the results of that fight as it was because you guys were also doing twice as much damage as you were supposed to do. So, also I don't foresee you
Well,
taking
I had
very
home
much.
field advantage, so.
Also, I don't foresee you taking too much more damage before you get back to the ship. So don't worry about it too much.
It's because I was king of the planet.
Well, it's nice to know that
Anyway,
we're not in any danger.
when we actually left off, Dr. Stephen Albert had just opened the.
This depends entirely on how many random pirates filled sized insults.
Oh, come on!
Dr. Stephen Albert had just successfully opened the door to this ancient, which you believe to be the ruins of an ancient species known as the crystals. And he has opened the door, and it is completely dark inside.
I turn on my flashlight.
Do you have a flashlight?
I shoot my blaster pistol into the darkness to illuminate the room.
You need to understand what we're going into here, Voltron. This is literally Dr. Stephen Albert and the Kingdom of the Crystal Stone.
Oh dear, oh no.
Because it's my kingdom, and we're probably going to find big crystals, and I bet they had skulls.
That's fair.
Right. Well, using the light from outside, Dr. Stephen Albert begins to walk into the room, which is very dimly lit. But once you get in there, you can kind
It's
of
Dr. Stephen Albert.
Oh, of course.
your eyes begin to adjust to the dim lighting inside. It's a room that is maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, roughly 6 feet to the ceiling. It's very cramped.
The planet of Atlantis uses the metric system. That's a royal decree.
Okay. Well, that decree was not made
I'm just saying, going
to
forward.
the GM, so you can use the metric system if you like.
Yeah, let's get
will.
those conversion numbers, Wilberforce.
Scratch that. Maybe the ceiling's about 7 feet tall, I should say. That's actually kind of an important distinction. And
Okay, crucial conjunction.
there's actually nothing in the room. Dr. Stephen Albert starts wandering around and exploring the corners and following the wall around, and he says, "This is strange. I don't actually see any doors, or, in fact, anything."
Wait, if there are no doors, how did we get in here?
Obviously, the door you walked in, he was not referring to.
Oh, obvious.
He says, "This is odd.
My character didn't pick up on that.
Out of curiosity, did you guys like walk in with him, or are you still standing outside?"
Of course I went in with him.
I
Why would
shot.
not want to know
Listen,
about
after
him?
I shot my blaster in, I got in a huge argument with Wilberforce, so I think I'm still outside, probably.
I walked off without my good buddy and brother Voltron because I knew I'd already won the argument.
That's actually a pretty good thing to note, because several moments later, Dr. Albert steps on what was apparently a false switch in the tiled floor,
I knew we should have checked for
the
traps
thing is,
before he
step on
finished
real
describing
switch.
the room.
and the two of you are suddenly, very suddenly, dropped downwards as the entire floor of the room moves down elevator style rather rapidly, about probably 10 feet. You don't take any damage because it does so fairly smoothly. And as the dust settles, you find yourself in a slightly wider spot. It looks like the upper room was just kind of like a false room for the room you're now in. The only light is the light coming in from...
Rooms.
The only light is coming from the door up above. There are 4 pillars on the outside of, we'll call that the smaller area floor. But you've kind of dropped a little bit into the hillside, so now there's darkness in every direction from where you and Dr. Albert are standing, Jericho. And there's like a little pool of light where the light from outside is coming down on you. And that's all you can see, really.
Hey, Voltron! Watch that first step. It's a doozy.
You need me to shoot some more blaster bolts in there to eliminate your surroundings?
It's okay, I have my own blaster.
Okay, then I'll stand a little farther back from the entrance if it's all the same to you.
Oh, good. Because my next shot was going to go with that weird round thing that was blocking all my light.
We'll go with, you probably have a reader, or like the space equivalent of a Palm Pilot that you could use for a very small
adding
amount of
stuff
light.
to my inventory, baby.
My space iPhone 207.
Like a chip reader, because there's no paper in this universe.
Boring.
Wait, so I have...
Everybody would carry that. That would be an assumed item that everybody would have in their pockets.
Okay, so I have a chip reader that I can use to, like, as a flashlight?
You have
Not
a cell
as
phone.
not as a flashlight, but like as a, you could use the dim glow from the...
Does it have a camera?
No, it does not.
that's why
That's
it's
Can
a
it
flashlight.
contact people at distance?
No, that's what you're...
Does it have
that's...
an app store?
Okay. Okay, hold on. For the purposes of this
We
session,
are the worst.
the only functions of this thing that everybody is carrying are to read chips and provide a very small glow of light. You have long-distance communicators.
I apologize insteadly for being the worst party ever.
You already have things to communicate long distances. You guys already bought that, remember?
Yeah, the walkie-talkie radio thing,
Not
communicator.
Not the walkie-talkies. You guys bought like voice communicators.
Comlinks.
Like, comlinks. Yes, you bought comlinks.
Eh,
Everybody in your
Fine,
party.
comlink
Everybody in your
talkies.
party has a comlink.
Okay, well, I'm just
walkie-talkies?
gonna write that down too, just in case.
Oh my goodness.
You made a huge deal of it. Everybody knows we have this.
Yes,
Of course,
we've
right,
done,
right,
This
yeah.
is a long time ago.
This is back when you were trying to tell me to do something stupid and I refused.
Alright, so anyway,
Anyway,
I sit down on a rock outside and enjoy the nice Mediterranean-style breezes
If you see
of
anybody
planet
out
of
there,
Atlantis.
tell them there's a new king in town.
who just got himself.
Shall
trapped
I
in a
also
hole.
tell them that he's trapped in a hole?
You can tell them I'm exploring the Royal Abattoir.
Alright, well, let me know if you need help.
Dr. Stephen Albert
We're
says.
good so far, but thanks.
Dr. Stephen Albert says, right then, well, this must be some sort of fake. I'd never seen this sort of thing in a crystal temple before. It's very
Crystal thing
odd.
going for fakes?
Well, no, but this strikes me as the sort of thing that a pirate might do to hide their secret stash, rather than what a crystal might do.
Maybe it was a crystal pirate?
No, it's impossible. But
I'm
it
just
could be,
spitballing here.
could be that the pirates are using the ancient crystal fortress as a way of hiding their stash. Of course, there's no way to know how big this is. He extends a claw out into the darkness and starts, like, tapping on the floor in front of him and moving forward.
Like a blind man?
Well, yes.
Got it. You see what I did there? I made a pun.
Yes, that was funny.
Thanks.
What? I missed the pun.
He was tapping around with his claw like a blind man. Tiss.
Yeah, how is that a pun?
Because he's a mantis.
Oh, okay. All right. You know what?
Wow, okay.
You know what?
He finds the wall.
That was
The best
unexpected.
Dad jokes ever.
It's about another, like, 8 feet into the darkness. He says, I found a wall. It looks like we're just in a slightly larger room than we were up above.
Quick, look for another pressure point. Maybe there'll be yet another smaller room down below.
He says, I certainly hope not.
Oh, me too. I'm already not sure how to get back out. Hey, Voltron?
Yes.
You don't happen to have, like, a rope?
I cast about nearby for a rope or a vine or anything that I could lower to rescue my idiot brother.
Also, hi, puppy.
There's a hello puppy hunter killer. There's a forest nearby you could go looking in vines for.
Is it like a forest, like a jungle, or like a forest like coniferous trees?
No, like a jungle.
Okay,
No, it's a
so
forest
there might
like
actually
Like a
Forest
tropical island type of jungle, not like an Amazon jungle.
Do we have any rope on the ship? I feel like we bought some, or maybe we got rid of it all. Maybe it got stolen or something.
I don't think anybody's stolen any
happened?
rope from you.
Did we ever buy any rope? I don't have any.
I don't believe you ever bought an adventuring kit or any rope.
There are adventuring kits? You can buy
What?
adventuring kits?
I mean,
This is a thing?
you also haven't bought any Asian rice paddy hats, but
There are Asian rice paddy hats? I could be living at the
looking
height
for
of
them.
fashion?
I mean, listen, all I'm saying is in this world, there is more to buy than just fuel, rockets, and weapons.
Wow, I had no idea.
That
I'm
was
gonna buy a
not
cat.
immediately obvious.
Oh my goodness. You don't have any rope, that's all I'm trying to say.
Alright, fine.
But like I said, there's a little jungle you could go look in.
Let's go look in the jungle.
I will go look
Well,
in the jungle. You're
that would
stuck
be
in the
Voltron,
cave,
wouldn't it?
so I will go look in the jungle for a vine that's approximately 3 to 6 meters in length.
Perfect.
Good. Okay,
Yeah, you're welcome.
Phil, over the next couple minutes while I'm dealing with Jericho and Dr. Stephen Albert, make 5 different IQ rolls for me, and when I
Oh, no.
ask you, tell me what they are. Okay, so
Okay, this is not going to go well. I'm absolutely sure of it.
Alright.
Don,
Bad
you're
news,
in the-
Dr. Stephen Albert. We're going to have to find our own way out of here.
well, it doesn't look like we're that far down. I mean, if we could find some sort of suitable rope or rope ladder, we could pull ourselves out of here.
Yep, that's the bad news.
I don't suppose we have any rope in the ship, do we?
Like I said, the bad news.
Well, the good news is... yes, it looks like we're in another
Voltron's
square room. I
searching
found the
for
other
it.
wall over here. It looks like this is
Square.
just a regular square enclosure, although I haven't felt any doors, but it does feel like there's some runes carved in the wall.
Now would be a good time to know what those runes say.
Well, if only I had some sort of light source.
Ooh, salty Stephen Albert. Shots fired.
Fots, you're worthless. Go home.
Go back to the Shire, Potts. You have terrible ideas. You're always around. Nobody wants you.
Just go home. Anyway, there's gotta be
Everybody's like-
something we can make light with.
I don't know, maybe a chip reader?
Well,
with
you do.
a very small glow that it gives off?
You do also have...
Obviously, I have that out.
I mean, you do have that pool of light that you're standing in from the doorway up above.
Ooh. Does the chip reader have a kind of plastic-like, glassy-like reflective surface?
It does.
Can I angle the pool of light to point at the rune wall?
Make a dex roll.
You're kidding.
Haha.
No.
Take that, Wilberforce.
Given that the pool of light is not moving, I am not moving, and the room is not moving, can I just take a 10?
Sure. Why not?
I rolled a 10.
Well, there you go.
You needed a 16.
Well, I mean, this is the sort of thing that you could try over and over again if you fail.
Yes.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to... Anyway, yeah, you shine the light off in his direction. It's kind of it's sort of like looking at the wall when somebody's like shining the light from like a watch face, and it's just like it's kind of shaking around. He goes, "Well, these are definitely crystal runes. It's not bright enough to read them, but it's unmistakable. This was definitely constructed by crystals."
That is truly interesting.
Of course, usually writings like this that appear in a single line in the middle of the wall are a recounting of some sort of history. So I doubt it will help us find a door or a way out.
Some sort of history. It's graffiti entailing someone's sexual conquests, probably. Let's be
You're not
honest.
even here.
Dr. Stephen Albert doesn't hear that,
alright,
so he
that's
goes
fair.
on. I wonder if you might shine that light around the room and see if we can find anything else.
I call up Voltron on the comm like, hey, have you guys found any graffiti down there?
You're still in the forest.
Okay, fine.
Go make another dex roll.
Done. You shine the light around the room, and several things come... one thing becomes apparent. In one of the corners that Dr. Stephen Albert hasn't reached yet, you see what looks like a pile of kegs.
Kegs.
Like barrels. They're smaller than kegs, I should say, but they're like
right
wooden
back.
barrels.
Please carry on. I have to let up my cat outside.
Did we... Okay, so we've got graffiti detailing sexual conquest.
We do not
piles
have
of
that.
kegs.
That was not...
Weird scribbles on the walls.
Okay, they're not weird scribbles on the wall.
Have we walked into an ancient alien frat house?
Okay, the ancient scrawling on the walls are Nordic runes or Nordic-shaped runes that belong to the ancient crystals, and the kegs that you see are not like beer-holding kegs. They're shaped like kegs. They're just smaller wooden barrels.
I'm gonna call this Royal Palace Kappa Beta Phi.
Oh my goodness.
Man, I wish Phil was here to hear that one, because this is a good series.
Oh my goodness. Good heavens.
We are the worst.
Yep.
Did your other players ever have this problem with you? Or did you ever have this problem with your other players, rather?
Oh, we have all kinds of problems all the time. But they're good ones, just like they are with you guys. Oh yeah, I will see, one of my characters, I mentioned he had a bird-like nose, and for the rest of the campaign they called him Birdman. For the simple fact that the first time they met him, I didn't give him a name. Like, I had a name for him, but the first time they saw him, he, like, appeared and did something terrible and then left, and so because they didn't have a name for him, they called him Birdman. Also, the first boss I had them face was named Gutsnap the Namer, and they called him Muttsnap the Gamer for most of the entire campaign, even though they killed him. Let's see, who else did they misname? One of the minor bad guys was named a Bagadid, and they called him a Bagadouche for pretty much the entire campaign as well.
You got lucky with that one.
I was gonna say, could have been a bag of something else.
Yeah, well, they were nice people.
Phil, you missed this. The rune scrawled
I
on the
was
walls.
probably in the jungle, so I didn't hear it anyway.
But it's important. The rune scrawled on the walls, detailing sexual conquest,
Which they do
are
not. I did not say that.
accompanied by a pile of kegs.
They are not kegs. They are small wooden barrels that look like kegs. Only they're smaller.
I have dubbed this the official Royal Palace Kappa Beta
They're
Phi.
barrels that look like kegs, but they're not
they're-
kegs.
Okay, like...
So...
Like... Oh my goodness. They're not big enough to be
So this
kegs.
pile of non-keg kegs.
Okay, so
Also,
there's
your
small
characters-
kegs.
Your characters have never seen kegs before. They would not know what that is.
What, you think beer doesn't exist in this universe?
It does. It's not stored in wooden barrels anymore.
Small kegs.
Fine, they look like wine barrels.
What do they do instead of keg stands in this universe, then?
They have
Space keg stands.
Their barrels are not made of wood anymore.
It's a space keg then, okay? A space keg.
Their barrels are made of like metal and plastic and
How do you
other.
finally age high quality potables? I don't know alcohol. There's
Listen.
something you put in wood.
Okay, the point is. Oh my goodness, Phil, what did you roll in your IQ rolls?
All of them? You want all of them now, or
Yes,
just-
all
okay.
5 right now.
7, 13, 5, 15, 4.
You actually find a vine that is 3 to 6 meters long, and if you'd like, you can make a dex roll to cut it off with your knife and use it.
Oh dear, a dex roll. I'm at +1 with a knife, right? I rolled a 10.
I mean, that's perfect.
I can just keep sawing on it, so
Yes.
it's not like I have to throw the knife at the tree and like
It's not like
cut
you
it in
challenge
half, right?
The tree for the rats.
right.
Right. So you have the vine.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Don, are you going to do anything about this
Um,
discovery?
I'm gonna talk with the good doctor and see if he recognizes any of these runes.
These runes, well, they're crystal in origin. I would have to be able to read more of them in context to actually see what they say. I can trace them out with my.
Trace out thing.
I just realized that I have no idea how mantises refer to their own appendages. I could feel them out in. Well, actually, no. 'Cause
They
this is
probably have their own language name for them, and then they translate that into whatever the rough equivalent would be.
But they also don't
Space
have
English.
They also don't have sensitive skin enough to like trace something with their fingers that they can't see. Like if you
Probably
or
use,
I would,
like their feelers.
like we could. Yeah, maybe he could use his antennae.
Maybe you could direct the light onto them.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing.
Right.
Good
Well,
mind.
You need me to come back and
Phone.
shoot a blaster at it a few times?
No. You gotta get that rope down here.
I make a
Fine.
lot of light.
Yeah, a lot of holes in me and these treasure chests.
he says it looks like the runes go all the way around this entire room.
Is that unusual?
No. Like I said, it's not unusual for crystal fortresses, for crystal temples to have lines of text around the middle of, roughly around the middle of the wall. Usually histories of various things.
Temples?
They don't have books. They had to write their history on the walls.
Well, that's just the name that we've given them. We don't actually know what crystals use these structures for.
Maybe
You've
these
seen
are
the structures
books.
before.
Well, I've seen a number of different crystal structures before. I can tell that the room we're in now is of crystal design, but I mean we haven't noticed any particular patterns in the layouts that crystals use for buildings. We just generally refer to them as temples because, well, quite frankly, the field is mostly dominated by humans who sort of superimpose the idea of religious worship onto the crystal people, who we have no idea if they were religious or not.
I think that's what we call a mic drop.
Damn, Stephen Albert.
He says, in my humble opinion, I'm not actually sure. Most of the crystal runes we've found were probably designed for multiple different purposes. They're not all laid out the same way. They don't all have the same artisanal focus. So it's likely that all we're in right now is a storehouse of some sort, or perhaps a dwelling. It's unclear. Most crystal ruins, because of how old they are either partially run down or almost entirely. Let's see. What does he say? Almost entirely buried. Of course, crystal technology we believe to have been far advanced beyond what we have now, and their building techniques were also quite well solid, which is why many of them are still around today.
That would make this one rather unique in that it appears to be still functioning.
Well, it's certainly functioning, although it's difficult to tell what its original function was.
But that trap wall definitely does work.
Yes, it's my guess that trap was actually built by somebody else, not the crystals. It's entirely unlike crystals to build something so, well, childish, for lack of a better word.
So,
Let's have a look at those kegs.
have I found a way to attach? Okay, I've got the vine. I'm walking back to the place. Have I found a way to attach it to anything outside the entrance firmly?
Gee, you could tie it to a rock.
Can I just do that?
Yep.
I tie it to a rock.
Donnie,
He has
you
to
gonna go
roll.
look?
He has to make a dex roll to cut it off, but tying it, no problem.
Fine, make a dex roll.
I'm actually okay with this because probably otherwise he'd just like break it or something.
Yeah, if you give me the opportunity to let you fail, I will let you fail.
I wasn't asking for a dex roll. I was just commenting.
So, Don, when examining the kegs, you find you gasp. As you reached out to touch the kegs in the darkness, you felt something that wasn't wood. It felt like bone.
It feels like bone.
Taking out your Palm Pilot, you realize that it's a human hand.
Feels like
Dun dun dun.
There's a skeleton that looks like it was. It's leaning up against the pile of the barrels. There are tattered rags on it with no distinguishable marks. It is an ancient skeleton, but it looks like it was reaching for something on top of the pile, and that it was clutching a small wooden box to its chest.
Wait, there's a pile of bones in the corner?
No.
there's
There's
a
a
pile
skeleton.
of kegs.
There's a pile
Just
of
one skeleton.
Right.
one skeleton. So, like,
Okay.
National Treasure when
One skeleton, many kegs.
in National Treasure when he's like, "Why would the captain guard this?" It's kind of like that.
Why would the pile of bones guard this? So, first things first, let's snag that little boxy box.
I tied the vine to the rock outside, and I called the ship and said, "Hey, we may need somebody to come pick us up. Just heads up. If you can mark our location on the map from where my communicator link is right now, that'd be really helpful." And so I tied the vine
Affirmative.
up. Thanks, Modar. Tied the vine up. I tossed it down. Does it reach all the way to the floor?
Close enough to the floor that Dr. Albert and Jericho could use it to get out.
Now, if Dr. Albert tries to climb up, isn't he going to cut it off with his claws?
Not necessarily. Well, I mean, he might have to make a dex roll, but I mean, I would assume generally the mantises are
Or he
capable
could
of...
just, wrap it around his
That's
thorax
fair.
and not
And
worry
we
about
can
it.
pull him up. So I'm going to go ahead and slither down
Mantises are-
the rope and say,
Okay, you will have to make a dex roll for that.
"Hey." Slithering, huh? I rolled a 17.
Perfect. You slide down like a fireman and land on the ground.
With great grace. Behold how gracefully doth my brother slither.
Thank you. I am rather graceful. Hey, what's up, noobs? What you guys doing in here?
Hey, well, we're
Find any cool
exploring
stuff?
Matter of fact, we did. Look here, at this dude, who is dead.
It appears someone was using this room to hide something. I wonder what's in these barrels, says Dr. Albert as he walks over to the barrels.
I take the small wooden box the skeleton was clutching to his chest at the moment of his death.
You now have a small wooden box.
Noted on character sheet.
What's in the crates? The kegs.
What do? Do you, like, pry one open? Do you pick one up? Do you...
Yeah.
I examine one. What
It's
does it look like?
Looks like a small wooden barrel, and it's incredibly heavy. Like, surprisingly heavy.
It's either full of treasure or bees.
Here's your macaroni and bees. Don't you mean macaroni and cheese?
Macaroni.
Waiter furiously covering bowl with plate. Yeah, that does make more sense, actually.
Sorry, I thought I heard something in my apartment, but I didn't.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay. Where was I? Yeah, they're incredibly heavy. But other than
So
that, they're
let's-
just...
The kegs are incredibly heavy.
You
But that's
pry one
all
open?
we know about them. And they're not wooden. How are we going to pry them open? If they're not wooden. What is... What,
No, they
what's
are
one-
wooden. Like, they're made out of wood, but there's probably not wood inside because it's very heavy.
Okay. Let me get this straight. They're literally wooden barrels. But they're not kegs. They're literally
Yeah,
made out
I
of
mean-
wood.
Well, you guys, your characters have never seen kegs before.
Wood? Never seen wood before.
No, you. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't
Let's
identify
pry
it as
one
a
open.
keg. It also doesn't have like a little spigot on it.
Hey, Wilberforce, what do you suppose we should call these things?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. They kind of look like kegs, wouldn't you say?
What's
made
a
of wood. I've
keg?
never seen one before that wasn't made out of space plastic.
Oh my goodness, they're barrels. What are you gonna do with them?
All right, let's pry one of
We're gonna
these
open
kegs open.
What are you gonna open it with?
A combat knife with a bipod and a scope.
The keen edge of my razor sharp wit.
It'll take a couple years for us to open it with that.
Your wit wouldn't
then.
be sharp enough to open
I'll
a
use
tub of butter.
my brother's unusually dense head as a bludgeoning object and batter the crate open.
Okay, you can use the combat knife inside. Well, you'll have to drag one over to the light to actually be able to see what's inside. So,
Perfect.
both of you make a
We can
strength
roll
roll.
it over.
A what roll?
A strength roll.
I
Okay.
have 12 strength, so my roll of an 18 plus 1 is a 19.
I rolled a 13, which I think I'm at -1 because I only have 8 strength. Is that right?
Yep.
Is that how that works?
Yep.
I really gotta do some
That's-
weightlifting. But I
That's
rolled
fine. You
15.
both. I mean, that's definitely good enough to get it over to the sunlight. Looking in,
Oh,
you
and
see
it's
that it is
melting.
full. It is full of pure vitrium. Actually, wait, hold on. Is vitrium a real element?
What's vitrium?
I know ytterbium is.
Ytterbium is, but I don't think
Well,
vitrium
everybody
is.
knows what.
Excellent. I did choose a cool-sounding name that isn't a real element.
Wow. It's
Ah,
actually Latin
yttrium.
for glass.
Yttrium is an element. Okay, you found this is a an interesting, strange non-Earth element that sells for really high prices on the black market. And this barrel appears
Black
to be
market.
like full of it. Because it's. Oh, that's a good question. You don't actually know. I don't
Do
think
you
your
spell
characters know.
vitrium 1T or 2?
1. Why not? Named after Vitruvius.
The Great. Ah, yes, Vitruvius.
Yes.
How hard is it going to be to pry open the rest of these?
Not hard.
How hard is it going to be to put the lids back on after we pry them open?
Not too hard.
Okay, I vote that we pry open all of them and see what's in them.
You do that. I'm going to
Okay,
look
sorry
around the
about
room
that.
to see if there's a way to raise the floor.
I do have
Ah.
the best combat knife, so...
Yes, you're by far the best equipped to sift through the barrels.
Don, you're gonna have to make your way around the wall, very slowly using your light to look, your limited light source to look. So, make an. You don't have perception as a stat. Make maybe an IQ roll.
Okay. I have an IQ of 12, so I'm rolling +1 on this.
Quite so.
Huh. Well, it's dark. Which would explain my 4.
Oh, that's
Plus
okay.
1 is 5.
During the time in which Voltron opens and closes all the barrels, finds out that they are all full, and there are, there are. Actually, I never determined how many there are. Let me roll really quick. There are 7. 7 barrels of pure vitrium.
Oh, there's 7. Oh.
Incidentally,
Okay,
guys, there are
interesting.
7 of these.
I bet
Yes,
you guys
there are
didn't see
7.
that coming.
7 barrels, and they're all full of vitrium.
Ytterbium?
No, not ytterbium. That's a real thing. This is vitrium. Very different. Sells on the black market for high prices.
Cool.
Is it
Hey,
illegal?
we should take all of this with us.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's contraband on most civilized planets.
Okay, so not this one. Probably because the
Hey,
king...
Atlantis
says-
is highly civilized, but vitrium is not illegal.
That's fair.
Oh, I know why it's illegal. Sorry. It's generally used for. I was gonna say it's not a weapons grade material, but it is like Oh man, what am I trying to say? It's generally used for a type of fuel that's very dangerous. So like it'll power like a small craft, or even a certain small number of like small space going craft, like super fast. But it's also really dangerous. So the reason it's outlawed is because it's usually used in fuel that's like
Oh,
unstable. But
we found a crate of space nitro.
yeah, I know that's basically what it is.
Okay.
And so like blockade
Duh.
runners will use it to outrun the authorities or things like that. But it's really unstable unless you know what you're doing. It'll explode and destroy your ship.
So is it flammable? Like if you toss a cigarette butt into it, is it going to explode?
It's got a flame retardant gel covering it. In the like, whoever packed it into the
Its
crates
current
was.
state is not processed.
Yeah, you have to combine it with. You have to like. It's used to make the fuel. Is what I'm trying to say. So it's not. You're not in danger of like flicking a cigarette in there and exploding. Of course, I
Hope
don't
none
think.
of us smoke.
I don't think any of you smoke because that would be really bad on a spacecraft.
Oh yes,
Also bad on your lungs.
but mostly bad on a spacecraft.
So Don, make another intelligence roll.
All right.
We're determining whether or not your intelligence
14.
are a main part of this conversation.
14. You've found a. Well, you've found a lever, but you don't know what it does.
I pull the lever.
You pull the lever.
Wrong lever!
I am prepared to shout wrong lever if it turns out to have been the wrong lever.
Nasty.
So sorry for that. I'm still getting over an illness. Yeah, no, actually, it was the right lever. Phil, is your character standing in the pool of light right now, like in the middle? Or is he carrying...
Well, I carried a bunch of the kegs over to the pool of light, and I'm
Theoretically-
standing by them, so...
Okay,
yes.
well, Dr. Albert is reading the runes on the wall, and you guys hear a mysterious ticking noise.
Huh.
Oh, God. We are gonna die. I climb...
Voltron, your character is moved steadily upward in an elevated fashion as the section of floor that fell down now moves up, and you find yourself in the original room that you guys walked into. You're now up on that would be the ground level, I suppose. Don, your character, and Dr. Stephen Albert are now in complete darkness, standing in what has become a little alleyway around the column that just rose up, elevator style, to the
Okay.
top.
Why do they even have that lever?
So you're in cat butthole.
They are in DE_cat butthole.
Right. Okay. Hey, are you guys okay down there?
As far as I can tell,
You can't hear
see
him.
much.
You can't
Oh.
hear me?
No, there's like a whole bunch of solid rock in between you.
Wait.
I bust out the communicator.
I am so confused.
There's like a column of rock that moved up.
Okay, and so there's like an... so they're like basically... Hold on. The column of rock moved up in the center of a large room, though, didn't it?
Yes. So
Yes.
the rest of the large room is now occupied by a column of rock. And we're standing on the edges
Okay,
wondering why
gotcha.
we can't see anything.
Okay, I got
I'm not
you.
wondering.
Did I
'cause we
get
saw
all
it
the
happen.
kegs up with me or not?
Yeah, you had to drag them all out into the light, and during that time, Don didn't find the switch, so
Okay,
You're fine.
I quickly roll all the kegs outside.
make a strength roll.
Oh god, no, I suck at these.
Can't be worse than your int rolls. Hey-o!
14 minus 1.
Also, it's a d20, so you can still roll a 20.
Thanks for that. I can,
You can
also,
also
roll a
roll a
1.
But you don't. So you managed to get them out, all except for 2, out onto the lawn before you kind of get tired and need to take a little break.
I sit down and take a
I
nice
pull
break
the
in the
lever.
shade.
You pull the lever. Phil, your character is elevated down.
I was sitting
back
outside.
in the
I know.
original
I was
room.
sitting outside.
Oh, you're sitting outside.
Yeah.
Okay, Don, the column of rock elevates down.
Wouldn't that be?
De-elevates.
Delevates.
Lowers. Descends. Drops.
Drop sounds a little precipitous. Let's go with
Bottoms
descends.
Descends.
Cool. Doing okay there, Doctor?
Yes, just fine. That was rather unexpected, but at least we know how to operate this thing now.
Just a bit, yeah. Well, fortunately, it does not seem to be really dangerous or trap-like in nature. Just kind
No,
of
certainly not.
hidden, which is rather nice for all of us involved.
He says, yes, that is rather odd. There weren't any kind of traps at all, were there?
Did anyone roll the check for traps? Just curious.
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you-
roll my check for traps skill.
I mean,
I
I'm
think the
just saying.
first thing we should do
If this were an
is get out of this
exploratory-
hole.
If this were an exploratory RPG, you would probably have that as something you could roll on, but since this
I
is mostly a
checked the
spacefaring... Oh my goodness.
Poke it with a 10-foot pole.
You don't
Hey,
have
listen,
a 10-foot pole.
I have a great idea. How about the
You have a
doctor and
10-foot
I
vine,
go
though.
back up? You have a 3-meter vine. How about the doctor and I go back up the hole with the remaining kegs? Ta-da! We're back. Let's get these kegs off. Let's get them to the ship, and then return to investigate a little bit with proper equipment.
Well, the ship has arrived.
I don't know about you,
Perfect.
but I'm all funned out.
Well, take a nap. Then fazzy missiles.
And with the help of Amy and Modar, if you want, you can load those barrels onto your ship's inventory.
I totally want.
Now, how many spaces did we say that art took up? Did they make a note of that?
It doesn't say.
In fact, 0.
You guys have 15 spaces, and I think that art, that shipment of art that you're moving at the moment takes up, like, probably 7.
Oh yeah. No.
I don't remember a number on that one, to be honest.
We're going to make it
That's
7,
okay.
and we're going to make the
Perfect.
barrels of vitrium altogether will take up 1.
Perfect.
They're very small kegs.
Like I said, they're small barrels.
You keep telling yourself that.
Yes, I will. They are in the cargo hold, and Modar informs you that while he was flying, he noticed on the sensors a piece. He noticed an object on the sensors. On the he just happened to make a quick a sensor sweep of the general vicinity using your upgraded long range scanners, and he noticed that
Modar.
he noticed that several clicks south of here in the more than several clicks, a handful of clicks, a very indistinct number of clicks south of here in the desert. There is something that there's a large object that is probably metal in design that does not appear to be a rock or a natural formation.
How did we miss that?
Yo, let's
Well,
ditch
he
this
says-
planet and get to the black market, and then drop off
He
these art
explains-
supplies.
He explains, from the sky, it probably would have appeared to be a large boulder, but upon closer inspection with sensor refinement, it appears to be
Sensor.
it appears to be a
Hello, I am
non-natural
Modar.
object.
I talk like a robot. Have you met my brother Sensor? Cool. Sounds like we got a lot of opportunity to have a lot of fun here. Because we've got the mysterious space station, we got this random other not a rock, and we've got Royal Palace Kappa Beta Phi.
I don't know if I call it a royal palace.
I do.
Says Dr. Albert.
I am king of this
Of
planet.
course. Oh,
Oh,
gosh.
goodness,
I
is he always
decide-
like this?
Yes.
Dr. Stephen Albert
I'm
asks.
sorry.
Amy
Yes,
says,
he
"I've
is.
only been here for a little while, and I'm sorry. I don't know him.
Amy just works here. It's good.
I just work here. I just do the shields."
I should mention, in fairness, this is the only undiscovered garden planet I have claimed for myself.
so far.
Pretty sure it's the only one the DM will let me claim.
Right, so what do you do next?
Let's do a quick check of the room down below with lights and cameras.
Do you have lights and
Surely there's
cameras?
an emergency flashlight somewhere on the ship, right?
Yeah, this is a ship, not a trailer
Right.
park. Of course, we have certain basic amenities.
Right, well, I guess you would have flashlights on the
Things
ship.
necessary to, I don't know, operate a spaceship in space.
Yeah,
Definitely include flashlights.
Flashlights would be included. All right, fine.
And rope, because we haul cargo, and we have to tie it down somehow.
Cargo netting? Question
That'll
mark?
work. And rope.
Wait, I still
Gotta be
have that.
honest.
I still have that 3 to 6 meter vine.
Yes. That's true. You should
Remember.
probably not put that in your inventory because it will decay at
It
some
might.
point.
It's probably still tied to the rock, so
Okay.
we're okay.
Okay, so let's go
So you wanna
back
go-
with flashlights and cameras and take a quick scan of the room with proper lighting and make sure we didn't miss anything.
Right. You'll have to find the secret hidden floor switch that makes the elevator go down.
Shouldn't be hard with 3 of us tromping around on it.
Sure, eventually. With 3 of you tromping around it, you find it, you go down. You make
Wait.
a scan of the room with lights, and actually, surprisingly enough, you find not much more than what you found in the dark.
Am I
You notice
also
that-
tromping around here? Did I get roped into this somehow?
I was kind of assuming you would just declare yourself not part of that.
I was hoping that I would get to stay on the ship for this part.
Yeah. I invited Amy along because she's probably got more common sense than
Okay.
everybody else in the ship combined.
And she's very
that's
curious, so she'd be glad to help. She's a little surprised when the floor starts moving.
But we didn't tell her that part?
Nope.
Surprise!
Fun.
What a great joke.
You find those runes do run the full circuit of the room. They're right about halfway around, or halfway between the floor and the ceiling. Other than the skeleton lying in the corner, the switch on one wall, and a couple little dents in the wall here and there, you don't see anything at all.
Fascinating. Good to know. Let's take pictures of all the runes just in case they matter later.
Dr. Stephen Albert says, I'll make a full translation of these.
Fantastic. I'm actually interested in seeing what they mean. Okay, let's go visit Modar's Not a Rock.
Modar's not a rock. So you're going to get in this ship with your extra square of cargo, take
Yes.
off and just fly in that direction?
More or less. I mean, we know where it is because Modar's located and identified it for us, so...
We
As
should
you get
maybe
closer,
fly at a relatively large height, just in case something starts shooting at us. I mean,
That's prudent.
it's always nice
I
to
like
be
that idea.
safe, right?
We
That's
have
my-
evidence that somebody somewhere has been here before and might not be a good person, so
and
we could be
killed like
having...
3 of the planet's inhabitants, so
Hey, those were my subjects that attempted regicide. That was
So-
perfectly justified.
So what height are you flying at?
of course. Uh-oh. Oh dear.
Approximately 2
20,000
kilometers.
feet.
Attempted regicide.
That's the definition for trying to kill a king. Attempted regicide.
Before you take off, are you going to visit the med bay and heal your wounds?
Oh, that's a really good point. Yes.
Oh boy, it's a good thing I remind you guys of these things.
so
So-
Fortunately, it doesn't take long.
So Jericho, you have declared 2 kilometers as your flying altitude.
Seems prudent. What do you
Right,
think,
well,
Voltron? Good.
Can't hear
right.
you over the sound of me being healed in the med bay.
Standing
right.
here being healed in the medbay along with you.
Well, as you start to get closer, your sensors begin to identify, more about the object the closer you get. Its general profile fits that of. Well, this is weird. Its general profile fits that of like a ship that's crashed.
I like how our DM considered the thing that he's describing to us as, oh, that's weird.
No, that would be your emotional response to
Oh,
this.
let me respond emotionally, and you can tell me what we found, and I'll respond to it.
Okay, fine. The
You
general
don't get to
appearance.
dictate my response.
The
You're
general
not my
appearance-
real dad.
the general appearance of the objects your sensors are decrying is that of a
Triple
crashed
score.
ship of unknown origin.
Wow, that's weird.
So it looks like it's a crashed ship, and it looks like we don't know where it's from.
So far, as you get closer, as you get closer,
Closar, Modar.
Closar.
closer,
Have you met my cousin Closar?
closer, you notice several small objects moving in on you from the southeast, the southwest, and the north.
What do they look like?
On your radar, they look like very small,
Rocks.
Very small rocks.
very small rocks. No, just small flying objects. They're moving at a very eerily fast speed for their size.
How high are they flying?
Maybe they are. It's possible. Excuse me, I'm giving you an emotional response again. Their profile fits something that might be like a land speeder, except that they are rising dramatically in altitude to meet
Does
yours.
it look like they're out hunting womp rats?
Do they
No,
appear
actually,
to
it looks like
have-
they're moving closer to you, and the closer you get, the more your sensors get a read on them, and
I'm going to designate these T-16s.
they don't look like anything you would immediately recognize.
Does it look like they have any weapons on them?
Altogether, there maybe, if you put all together of them, their total mass would, there are three of them, maybe would probably meet up with, like, maybe they would be as big as your ship if you put all three of them together.
Hey, I have a great idea.
I'm not sure. I know I'm not gonna like this.
What if we put all three of them together in a sudden and dramatic fashion?
How?
Anyway,
I'm hoping at this point Zarya has her ult charged.
Oh god.
they're moving very rapidly towards you, and as visual scan comes in on one of them, it does not appear to have any weapons, but it is nightmarishly creepy. The thing you're looking at,
Nightmarishly creepy. I have had creepy nightmares of this exact thing.
yeah, actually, you have. No, you haven't. Just kidding. But you might have. It looks like a flying. It looks like a drone of some sort, but not of any make you have ever seen before. It's kind of got a roughly triangular shape with like curved, rounded edges, and one enormous, like, freaky robot eye in the middle. So sort of a cross between the HAL 3000 or HAL 9000 eye and like one of the eyes off of one of the things in what's the name of that movie with Tom Cruise? Oblivion. And then if it was a triangle, on the 3 points of the triangle, there are other little things that look like they might be lasers or maybe engines. But there's another emotional response. But it doesn't have any obvious means of propulsion. It looks like it's just flying really freakishly fast in your direction.
Huh.
Also, rewinding the tape on your sensor scan, they literally appear to have appeared out of nowhere. Like they just showed up in the middle of your sensor range. Your sensor. There we go again. The sensor range.
I'm
They
really
literally
enjoying this.
They appeared in the middle of your sensor range and just started flying towards you from ground. You do notice that their altitude began at ground level, and they're very rapidly rising to meet yours and flying directly in your direction.
Quick, open a hailing channel.
I found a visual picture, guys.
Oh wait, let me look at this and see if it's anything close.
Wow.
No, it does not look like the all-seeing eye.
Are you sure? You said they were shaped like a triangle and had a big robot eye in the middle.
Okay,
And something about the Illuminati.
if they're shaped like that,
Illuminati confirmed.
if they're shaped like a equilateral triangle, the point would be facing down, and the sides are entirely rounded. Like it doesn't have points. It's just generally triangular in shape. Maybe that's a bad descriptor.
Can we hail them on the radio? Hello, vessel. Identify yourself. Vessels.
All you
Identify
receive
yourself.
back on the hailing channel is a.
We definitely need to shoot them down as soon as
This
possible.
is Wilberforce Jericho Carthage III, King of the planet Atlantis and Captain of the Durango. Identify
Drunk
yourselves
here.
immediately.
Oh
1 kilometer and closing.
You're in violation of royal airspace. Cease and desist, or we will take appropriate countermeasures.
Half a kilometer and closing.
no. I'm charging the weapons.
That's it. Shields up.
Don, roll for initiative.
Oh boy, oh boy. I rolled a 7.
I rolled a 7.
Plus 200 because I'm awesome is 208.
Wait.
Wow, that's remarkably good.
I know, right?
Math.
Unfortunately, they all rolled higher than you. The 3 come into small arms weapon range and begin firing.
Oh my
Puts the
gosh.
klaxon and yell, "Battle stations!"
Roger
Just-
that,
just for
Captain. Just to clarify, let's see. Modar's in the engines, Amy's in those shields, and Albert is in the cloaking?
I think we just
Or
had
is-
him in the mid bay.
Okay, he's in the medbay. Got it. Okay. It looks like these things do indeed have 3 weapons on them. They all begin firing small red lasers from the upper 2 weapon points that they have. The first one completely misses, not even close. 2 red bolts
Oh,
of
goody.
2 small red laser bolts fly past your ship.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Been working on that one all day. The second one hits.
No, it doesn't. I dodge it.
What did you roll?
I get to roll.
Where did we put the cloaking in?
The cloaking is right next to the shields.
Right.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1!
What about Modar? Modar can roll, right?
Modar
Yes,
can roll.
Modar gets a roll.
Modar rolled a 7, which is not good enough. It's good enough to save your critical fail, but
good.
not good enough to dodge. The
But
bolts
not
hit
good enough to dodge.
2 bolts, each doing 1 damage, which means your shields are now down.
Boom, boom, boom.
That was the second one, and the third one also fires 2 little laser bolts at you and is good enough to hit.
Well, I'm going to try to dodge that one, too.
Roll on it.
That's better. I rolled an 8. Plus 1 from my dex is a 9. Plus
plus
1
one.
from manning is a 10. Plus 1 from having the engine room also manned is a total 11.
That bonus goes to Modar's roll.
Oh, well, I got a 10.
Still not good enough. Modar rolls. Oh, holy cow! He rolls a 20.
Booyah!
Saving lives.
We dodged
Um,
it so well, our ship heals itself in gratitude.
No, your heal is full health, so actually those bolts fly past your ship. That brilliantly is
Strike a
that
random
suddenly-
wormhole and
this
hit
is
the
suddenly-
enemy ship.
puts on a burst of speed, and actually because they're surrounding you, yes, the bolts hit one of the other ships.
Wow, what a
Modar
dodge.
is a boss.
So
Hey, that
does
means
he get
he
a
and I
point for
both get
engines
XP, right?
and
Yeah, you both get
weapons?
XP for that. Yeah,
Yay!
he gets a point for just for engines.
Are you sure he doesn't get one for weapons too? Because
I have great
he hit
news,
the
you
other
guys.
ship.
Technically, he didn't hit it.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
that's
okay,
fair.
this is important. That was my 14th point in navigation.
Ooh, does that mean you level up?
Do we have a level up sound cue?
Better. I don't.
FTL DJ,
Well-
please.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. I believe.
Yes!
Yes! Ha! Excellent.
That's all I got. Sorry.
I'm okay with this.
The 2 bolts hit the third ship. Don, you level up. That sound effect happens. And that's their turn, so now it's your turn. And we'll say that since you started powering up those weapons before they actually got to you, that we'll start with 1 on there, and so you'll add a second charge to all of those, so you'll be able to fire the ion and the mini beam next turn if you'd like.
Next turn.
Cool. Next turn, but for this turn, commence explosion dodging.
Commence explosion dodging. They fire. Ooh, wait, hold on. Sorry, 1 second. 1 for 2. 2. Sorry, I gotta write this down real quick, just so that I don't do something really stupid.
Goodness, I wouldn't want that.
4. Okay. Badoom, badoom. Badoom, 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 and badoom. They all fly around menacingly, but they're still charging their weapons, so they don't actually do anything. Oh, yes, and Amy starts recharging the shields.
Yay!
By the way, I moved up the base on shield recharges to 6 because I realized that Amy gets a bonus from her IQ, and she gets a bonus from manning it, and she has a level in it, which means she already is at 3. So if it was a 5, she would only be at 2, so there wouldn't be much room for leveling up once she got her other levels. So the base for recharging shields is 6 turns, but because she has a +3 on that, it's only 3 turns for you guys, which is wait, a little OP, but okay with me.
Okay. Here's your level
So that
up
was
done.
So 2 more.
Ooh, I like it.
That's awesome. We should keep that. I like that.
There you
So
go.
2 more turns on that. It's your turn again, and if you want, you may fire the ion.
Fire all the things. How many enemies do we have left?
You have 3. One
Oh,
of them has
dear.
been hit by its comrades. So if you like, you can fire the ion or the mini beam or both.
Okay. I
At some point, somebody
fire
will come up with a
both of
reason
them.
not to shoot all of the guns. But that day is not today.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell you guys what to do or how to run your game, so it's
fire,
up to you.
I fire both of them.
At what?
I target the most healthy enemy with the ion cannon and the other enemy with the other completely healthy enemy with the mini beam.
With the mini beam, okay? Make your
Awesome.
rolls.
Okay, this is for the ion cannon. I rolled a 4 plus 2, I guess, is 5 or 6.
Not good enough. That's a miss on the ion.
Okay.
Nuts.
Mini beam, you need to hit a. You
That's
need
an
to hit
IQ
a
roll, right?
7. Yep, you need to hit a 7 with your IQ.
I rolled a 9 plus 1
Perfect.
is 10.
Excellent. Since
Wow,
the ship
it's
is
almost like you
incapable of
have an
dodging,
IQ.
your mini beam goes and does 3 damage.
What?
The small
Roast
ship explodes.
Blew up. That's awesome.
Nice.
So,
You bloated it up a ship.
so Phil, you get a point for that.
I
That
get
shot.
points for shooting.
Yes, you get points for shooting.
I got both points.
So you
Don't
got
worry
both
about
points for
that. I put those points in there.
Okay, just making sure you keep track of
No
that.
worries.
Yes, the ship explodes.
Also, our heavy laser isn't up yet, is it?
No, but it will be next turn.
Okay, great.
Amy moves the shields down to only 1 more turn remaining on those. And it's their turn. And they buzz around menacingly, charging their weapons, but otherwise remain the same. And for the record, you are like flying straight, and they are just like keeping pace with you evenly, and just like they're facing you and shooting at you. And again, they have no obvious means of propulsion or flying. You're not really sure how they work at all. But it's
We
back to
don't
your
have
turn.
like a tractor beam, do we?
No.
I fire the heavy laser.
Which one?
The only heavy laser we have.
Sorry.
Which one do you fire the heavy laser
At. Yes, that was what I meant to say.
The one that hasn't been exploded or damaged yet.
Sounds good. Make a roll for it.
Good
Hang on,
idea.
Let me give myself a point for it first. Priorities, man. Okay, rolling. Oh gosh, I rolled a 2 plus 2 is 4.
Wow. The heavy laser goes and somehow hits the ground, making an enormous explosion of sand.
Explorer, which
Quit shooting
messes
my planet!
with the sensors of the attacking ships, right?
No.
Ah.
You cannot get any positive
Curses.
results out of a 2.
Oh, come on.
Just be glad it wasn't a 1.
That's
Yes,
fair.
just be glad it wasn't a 1, because then it would have been bad.
I mean, come on, it was a
Um,
plus 2. It was a 4. I mean, come on.
Your shields are now recharged.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, FTL DJ.
I was
He's
waiting
on
for that.
top of it.
And both of these smaller ships go pew 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 and shoot their 2 small red lasers at you. The first one, is good enough to hit.
Not if I dodge it.
Yaj.
And I should mention that now I'm at level 1 of navigation, so I have an
1.
additional +1 to
So you have
dodge. My
total
total
plus
plus
3?
3.
+3,
Super sexy, I know.
which means you have to roll a 15.
I rolled an 8. Plus
And-
3 is 11.
Not good enough. And Modar rolls a 4, which means the 2 bolts hit, doing 2 damage, taking down your shields.
Oh, good thing we just got
Dang
this
it.
back up. Whew.
Good thing we have Amy.
The other one rolls, and it is also good enough to hit.
What's the recharge with Amy on the shields?
Currently, it's at 3.
Okay.
So you'll
Good
spend
thing
3 turns.
Amy is awesome.
You'll spend 3 turns without shields.
Ugh. Okay.
Well, there's only 2 of them left, right?
Yeah, there's only 2 left.
And
the second one,
theoretically, one of them is damaged.
the second one rolled well enough. The second
Oh,
one
we
rolled
saw
well
it
enough to
hit.
hit you. The second one rolled well enough to hit you, so you'll need to dodge.
Oh, right. Second one. Gonna dodge. Commence explosion dodging. Yeah, that was a 7. Plus 3 is 10.
Not quite good enough. Modar's roll. Oh, it fell off the bed. Let me roll it again. 12, 13, 14, 15. Modar's roll is also not good enough.
Quick
The lasers
question.
smack your hull. Except you have 1 armor, and they don't have any armor piercing, which means they do 0 damage.
Yeah, we gotta
So we're
fix
basically
that.
invincible. Hey, question.
Hey, answer.
Now that I have achieved a rank in my navigation skill, what is my next XP target for that?
It's the same as the last one, so 14.
Cool. That's convenient.
Yeah, the levels are even for the skills. Even climb.
It's handy.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay.
Right, your turn. Amy recharges the shield, so
And we are firing
she-
some weapons.
she doesn't recharge them, but it's up to you.
She continues to recharge
no?
No?
Yeah.
You
Shouldn't
are?
our ion be charged right now?
Yeah, because we shot, and then the recharge on
Oh.
both of those is 2, and then we shot
Right.
the heavy laser, and now they're up.
Yes. That's right. Okay, fire away.
Fire, hooray!
Fire!
Oh,
There's
right.
a fire!
Fire!
I'm
Sail.
firing the ion cannon at the ship that's been hit.
Okay.
I rolled a 17, so 19.
Wow, good enough.
That better be a hit.
Yeah, and you better believe it doesn't dodge.
Nice.
You have ioned the entire thing.
Does it fall out of the sky?
All the things are ioned.
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't crash, but it does... Well,
Okay.
that's a good question.
Disabled for a time.
Yeah, you've managed to disable everything except for whatever its propulsion system is. So it's still flying along with the ship, but it's obviously
Open a
not going to be
prayer.
firing.
We're rolling the mini beam then at the other one.
Yes.
9 plus 2 is 11.
That's good enough to hit.
Whammo.
It explodes. Dead. It's now the other ship's turn.
So it got
and since-
100% to hit, doesn't it?
What, the mini beam?
Yeah, and then it
Yeah, you-
roll for damage.
No, if you make your IQ roll, you do the full damage, which is 3.
Right, but I thought you roll for IQ, and it always hits though. But then if you don't roll high enough IQ, then it doesn't do any damage. Or if
Then
it's
it
1
only
through
does
3.
Yeah, it only does 1 damage. If you get a low IQ roll, it only does 1 damage.
So, but I don't have to
Or if
roll
you-
to hit with the mini beam.
You just have to roll to see how. I mean, okay. Think about when you're playing FTL. It's impossible to miss with a beam.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But if you're really dumb, you'll only hit one room with it. Whereas if you're smart, you'll hit 3 rooms.
Right.
And so,
Okay.
so the mini beam does 1 damage per room, so you can do up to 3 damage with it.
Right. But what was confusing me was you said I rolled a 9 or whatever, and you said that's good enough to hit.
Oh, sorry. I meant that's good enough to do full damage. My bad.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that was my bad.
Just wanted to clarify
shouldn't
that.
have. I was thinking.
It's cool.
Okay.
Oh yeah. That was
We're
good
good.
enough to do full damage, which is 3, which is enough to explode the ship.
Great.
And yes, it does fall out of the sky, or rather, all of its assorted pieces fall out of the sky.
Hey, commence some more explosion dodging. We got 2 turns until the weapons come up.
Commencing explosion dodging.
Commencing explosion dodging. Right, its turn is just recovering from ion, so it's your turn again. All your weapons get a charge. Amy works on the shields. Continue explosion dodge, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay.
It's a two-turn critter.
Enemy's turn. It continues to be ion for 1 more turn.
Boring.
Boring. Your turn. Amy recharges the shields.
Have my weapons recharged yet?
You can fire the heavy laser. Wait. Hold on.
I have a
Sorry, you need 1 more turn before
one
you can
more
fire the heavy
turn. I
laser.
think we get all 3 of them up next turn, don't we?
Yes. Next turn
Oh,
you'll have all 3.
baby.
Yay!
The ship is now no longer ioned, and it fires its 3rd weapon at you. A large blue laser.
Like a large laser, or just kind of a largish laser?
Like, bigger than the other ones. And it's good enough to hit.
Oh no.
Is this a plot laser? Or
Is this a what laser?
a plot laser?
A plot laser.
The worst of lasers.
Beware the plot laser.
So,
Can you
Just to
dodge a plot
clarify,
laser?
are we still? This is
Only
the
if you
start
both
of
roll
their
negative
turn, while I am still in dodge status, right?
Yes.
So I have an overall +4.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay.
And I rolled a 12, which brings my total to a 16.
Oh, so close, but not good enough.
Seriously.
We going die.
We go die. That's okay, because Modar rolls at 19. Holy cow.
Hot dang.
Yeah, you completely dodge the laser. It flies by your ship.
Nice work.
Which means it's your turn,
Boing.
and you have all 3 weapons available.
Oh, we unload all 3 of them.
All
I
3 of them.
recommend not shooting
At-
anything,
The same. Why not?
just to make sure you're listening. No, go ahead. Kill
Can
the
we?
bad guy.
If we ion it, can we capture it?
Well, didn't we ion one already?
Yeah, but we had to kill the other one. We were still in battle. I didn't want to suggest it, but if we ion this one, that has been hit by its team already, can we capture it and study it or something?
Well, I mean, no, I'm saying, didn't we already ion one that fell out of the sky?
No, it came back and became
Oh.
unioned. That's the one that
okay.
shot at us with the plot laser last time.
With the plot laser.
But if we ion this one, will it just come back in a few turns?
Well, but what if we ion it and then capture it?
Can we capture it in 3 turns?
I don't know. I'm asking, can we do that? Is there a way for us to capture it?
You're asking the GM, is there a way to capture something?
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, I'm asking you, is there a way for us to capture this ship if I ion it?
The game does not have an entry on capturing enemy ships in the database.
All right.
So, totally up to us.
I'm going to shoot the ion cannon first, and then the heavy laser, and then the mini beam, so that I get as many weapon points as possible.
Good idea. Munchkin.
Hey, listen, some of us haven't leveled up yet, alright?
Valid. Fire away. I meant the Munchkin. I meant the Munchkin
Okay,
gun.
I rolled a 19 on the ion.
Holy cow, that's good
Oh
enough.
my. I would hope so.
Well, I guess technically he can still. No, I don't think he can dodge the 19. I think that counts as a critical.
Well, it's at +2, so...
Right. So yeah, no, he can't dodge that.
Right.
It's
Okay,
ion.
heavy laser coming in. Hot and, well, heavy. I rolled a 14, so +2 again.
Good enough to hit. He can't dodge because he's ioned. So, yeah, the heavy laser does 2 damage, and the ship explodes.
Rock on.
That's too bad.
Nice shooterizing.
I was hoping I would miss and get another point, but oh well. Can't
Oh,
have
hey.
everything, I guess.
Let's not complain about blowing up the enemy.
Believe it or not, you guys were so close to your next level, and they were altogether were worth just about a level of XP. So you actually gained 2 levels from that fight for your ship.
Ha! Dang.
Nice.
Which means you're now up to level 6, and you have 2 more points of power.
I am excited.
Ed,
No,
just excite.
just excited. I am excited.
Sweet.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to excite.
Wait a second.
Prepare to excite.
Okay, so according to my data,
Yeah.
we have a total of 9 power.
Seems right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should have now. Well, yes, plus your extra bonus power and engines.
So
Right.
that gives us 10 artificial, right?
Yes, with
Right.
only one of those being the engine.
Gotcha.
bonus.
So right now I've got 2 in engines. One of them is a bonus. 3 weapons, 1 armor,
Yep.
and 2 shields.
Yep.
Okay.
And
we
2
have
spare.
2 to spare.
Yeah, 2 to assign.
Oh baby.
What if we put them both into shields?
That would bring you up to 3 points of shield. Yeah.
Counteroffer. I think it's 2 for the initial shield and 1 for each additional layer, right?
So you'd be up to 3.
Right.
I believe that's the mechanics we had.
Counteroffer. What if you upgraded your navigation? What if we put both of them into engines, because they make our shields go farther?
Say what?
What if we put them both into engines? Because is it every 2 points we get +1 to dodge in the engines? We could put 2 points and get an extra
Ooh.
+1 to dodge.
I see
Or
what
we
you're
could,
saying.
I guess we could get 2 more shields. That wouldn't be a bad idea either. I don't know.
I mean, I like the 2 shields idea.
Okay.
Personally.
I don't know what to do best. What's the best way to do it?
Both
up to you
seem
guys.
like good ideas.
Here's a question. So,
Okay, here we go. Let's put 2 points in engines
okay.
for a total of 3 plus 1. And then for our 10th power, which will be the last one we get in this ship class, we'll put into shields.
Okay. Wait, don't... 10th power, do we stop getting power after level 7 then? I thought we could go clear to
Oh.
level 10 with this.
No, you go up to clear level
my
10.
bad, my bad. Yep. Okay. Anyway, let's put 2 in engines anyway, so we can have an extra dodge
Okay.
chance.
2 in engines,
Seems
plus 1
good to me.
dodge.
And we get 2 chances to dodge too, so that's going to help double.
Well, that only
Well, the
adds
engines
to
will
your
only
engines.
affect 2 Modar.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
And remember, I mean, even if Modar dodges, you still get that XP.
That's fair, that's fair. Okay, let's do it.
So you approach the ship, or what you think is a ship, and as you get closer to it, it looks like the massive hulk of what may have been the bulk of a cruiser at one point, a cruiser-sized ship. It's charred and not smoking. It looks like it's been worn by the dust and the weather and the sand for countless years. Dr. Stephen
Count them.
Dr. Stephen Albert
You've
runs
always
up to
been bad at
the
counting.
cockpit, looking out the window, aghast. He says, "If I'm not mistaken, that ship looks to be of Lanius design."
Whoa. What's Alanius?
I don't know, but I
Lanius
switched to the
would-
Lanius track, so
We actually have a Lanius track.
yeah.
That's
Ooh,
awesome.
He says the Lanius were an ancient race, contemporary of the crystals, but they fought wars against the crystals for generations. Finding a ship like this crashed here could suggest that perhaps they fought a war above this planet. Or they fought a battle above this planet.
Huh.
Their war was the end of both of the species. It was, as far as we can tell, it was as wide as the hospitable planets of the crystals themselves, which is, well, that's another topic entirely. But this could also be an incredible archaeological find. I cannot believe that this planet has so many clues to ancient history on it.
So this is a really cool and important planet. It's a good thing I'm king of it.
Lannis fought Crystal. This is Lannis' ship on what is presumably a crystal planet.
Well, not necessarily a crystal planet. We've found crystal ruins here. The crystals at some point, we believe, according to the histories that we've read, we believe that the crystals moved out from wherever their originating planet was relatively late in their history. Perhaps as a result of the pressure from the war against the Lanius. The Lanius reproduced much faster from the crystals from what we can tell, but of course the only history we have given to us is from the crystal side, because the Lanius did not keep written records that we've ever found. In fact, we're not even sure of any planets the Lanius actually inhabited. They seem to be scavengers and ruthless, what's the word I'm looking for? They just traveled around eating and killing whatever they could find.
Nomads.
2 questions.
Nomads. That's a good
Number
word for them.
one.
Yes, that's a good academic word for them. Yes.
Number 1, was there any scrap left over from that last fight that we picked up?
No, they exploded in tiny little bits.
Number 2,
Teeny
can we
tiny.
salvage any scrap from this ship?
That would be an interesting
I loot
question.
the room.
You loot the room. You're still in the ship, and
I loot the ship.
You just looted the Jericho.
Well, it's not gonna be as
Great
simple as that. You're gonna have to get out of your ship. You're gonna have to land your ship and go for a little walk if you want to loot the ship.
Do you want
Let's
to do
go
that?
for a little walk.
Going for a little while.
The ship is oblong in shape, but again, it's just kind of a charred husk that's all that remains, so it's difficult to actually guess the shape of the ship. It's sort of tilted, it's sort of tilted in the sand over on its starboard side. There's really nothing left of the port side, so you're walking inside the main, you're walking just straight on the bulkhead of the main, inside of the fuselage, and you're walking over things that look like they were weapon placements, and it looks like there were a lot of them. Like, this thing was probably a warship. It looks like it was just bristling with weapons placements. Did you guys, out of curiosity, are you going to take anybody with you on this?
Who wants
Probably
to come?
Stephen Albert for sure.
Albert for
He
sure
seems
wants to
to
come.
know the most about it.
Albert for sure wants to come. But Amy's probably curious. Modar probably doesn't care.
Well, let's bring Amy with us.
So the four of you are walking along this ship, and Albert is just absolutely beside himself. And he gets all excited and starts ranting to you about his vast historical knowledge, saying things like, well, the Lanius reproduced much faster than the crystals, which is the only reason they were able to get the upper hand in the war against them, because the crystals had far superior technology and better tactics, but the Lanius simply tried to overwhelm them with their superior numbers. As far as we know, it worked, but as soon as the crystals became extinct, we have no further record of the Lanius. We believe that somehow the war was the death of both species.
Fascinating.
It is interesting that the Lanius should attack the crystals, because from all the records we've been able to find, the Lanius, they were, at least in this, well, there are only certain guesses that we can make based on other historical data just before the hyperspace wars began. But we believe that the Lanius biocomposition actually required them to eat metal to survive.
Huh.
So we're not entirely sure why they would even attack the crystals, because the crystals didn't have an extraordinarily large source of metal. Also, exterminating an entire race like that would be extremely against their desires, because without the manufacturing capabilities of a race as advanced as the crystals, the Lanius would be without food. Most scholars suggest that that's how they died.
They starved to death?
They ate metal. And
That's what they believe.
Couldn't get enough metal, so they died. Well, seems like a bad life choice.
That's why I've always believed there's something more going on with the history of Delanius. Of course, we'll never know because Delanius didn't leave any kind of written records.
The classic
But-
Catch-22.
But here's an interesting thought.
Space Catch-22.
Here's a thought. This might be Alania's ship.
Indeed, it looks like it might be. Although I can't hardly see anything of value. It looks at this point to be nothing more than charred metal. But apparently, it looks like it was quite damaged before it fell. Probably the only reason it's even a little bit intact is because it landed in this sand.
Sand, you say?
Yeah, it's a desert.
Oh, right.
We combed the desert. Have you guys found anything yet? Nothing over here. What about you guys over there? We ain't found shit.
They're combing the
Such
desert.
a good movie.
I still haven't seen it, believe it or not.
You need to see it. It's really funny. Anyway, so
Everybody make an intelligence check.
I find some. It's here with me.
You find some.
I rolled a 10. Plus
Okay.
2
You rolled a 2.
plus 1.
Well, Voltron, your roll is highest for the party.
How unusual.
I know. It's a good day for me.
You stumble across a weapons placement, a slightly larger weapon. Well, no, I guess it's a normal weapons placement that appears to still have a weapon in it.
Holy cow!
I
Might
remove
this actually
it
be a real
and
Lania
attempt to
weapon?
attach it to our ship. Can we take this with
In
us?
that order.
It's gonna take all of you to remove it because it's currently mounted on the ship.
Is it? What does it say? Does it say anything on the side?
Yeah, it's written in Lania, genius.
It is written in Lania, but it has like 4 barrels, and it looks like it looks like a sick, nasty weapon.
Oh, I've always wanted a sick nasty.
Um,
You know, that shoots sick nasties.
Dr. Stephen Albert leans over it and says, "Well, of course they didn't leave any written records, but they did have a written language, we believe. And from this inscription, or from this labeling, rather, I should say, it looks like this is a weapon of laser
Destruction.
Wait.
4.
I've got it.
The Lanius language is extraordinarily stilted and awkward, and it translates very poorly to other languages. But I think the best translation for this would be
Heavy laser Mark IV.
no, perhaps, maybe a weapon of 4 lasers.
A quad barrel laser?
Yes, that has a good ring to it. A quad barrel laser.
A tetra laser, maybe.
Ah, well, yes, that would also be appropriate, I suppose.
A piercing laser of tetra.
Okay, now
Well,
you're
there's
being
nothing
silly.
Also known as a plot laser. Ah!
A plaser?
No, those shoot blue bolts, remember?
Oh, how do we know this one doesn't shoot blue bolts?
Oh, it's true, I shoot blue bolts. You don't know.
Tell you what, stick your head down there and see what color the bolt I shoot at you is.
No thanks, I rolled higher on the intelligence than you did this time. You stick your head down there.
So are you guys going to try to attempt to disconnect this thing and attach to your ship?
Sure.
Or are you just going to leave it there? I mean, it's up to you.
I mean, we can at least put it in the cargo bay and sell it to someone, right?
Minimum. But let's try hooking it up to our ship, because that sounds cool.
I mean, you don't know what its specs are right now.
Well, let's talk about trying to get it off the other ship first.
Right, that's going to take
Alright,
some time.
let's get
You're
it
going
off
to need to go
the
back to your ship, get some tools. Probably going to need Modar to help you.
Say, Modar, would you like to help us salvage an unknown alien artifact?
It's probably fine. Totally safe. We do it all the time.
Modar questions the safety of this move, but agrees to get some tools and come help you.
Modar, we're not paying you to
You know,
question
truthfully-
the safety of our decisions.
Let's not talk about how much we may or may not be paying him.
That's fair.
I mean, let's be realistic here.
It is
We're
well.
not.
I think it
The
doesn't need to eat, because...
the ship's There's.
Well, I mean, technically, he gets
let's
the de facto deal.
It's going to be rather hard to remove this thing. Years of decay combined with probably battle situations under which this ship crashed, and the fact that you're just using normal shipboard tools to remove it, mean that it's going to take
Battle situations, everyone!
most of the rest of the evening to remove it. As sunset comes on the planet that you have decided to name Atlantis,
That is the name of the planet. It is because I have named it such.
the weapon is almost removed, and you begin to hear strange howls in the distance. Amy looks frightened. What was that? Did you hear that?
Nothing I haven't killed before. No, seriously, I'm pretty sure these are the weird hyena dog things that tried to commit regicide earlier and were killed for it.
Hyena dog things? Regicide? There's no king of this planet. Amy says.
I'm the king of this planet.
You've missed out on a lot, Amy. It's been a long day, and I think the sun got a little bit to Wilberforce, and he's been acting a little strange. So,
This is the planet Atlantis. I am its king. The end.
like I said,
The howls are getting closer.
strange. Let's get to the ship. Are we in the ship now?
No, you're still in the. You're still trying to disconnect the weapon.
Let's abandon the weapon for a moment, get to the ship, and fire
It's dark.
some.
Let's go inside.
Fire some lasers at these hyena dog things.
I like this plan, actually.
And so you're all going to go inside
Well, yeah. I mean,
of the ship.
wouldn't you?
I mean, I'm not saying what I would do.
Nuts. Worth a try.
The GM, the game does not tell you the best move to make.
Worth a try.
The game gives you a situation, you make a decision, you move on.
All right, let's get.
You
into
roll
the
your
ship.
dice, you move your mice. Nobody gets hurt.
Well, that last part, I don't know.
See, the way I usually describe D&D is that you roll your dice, you move your mice, and everybody gets hurt.
That's pretty fair.
All right, well, you guess you spend the night
Pretty
in the
much
ship.
everybody probably dies.
You are haunted by the strange howling sounds outside the ship for most of the night, but the morning comes and the animals, well, it sounds like they've cleared away.
Good thing my cabin is soundproof. I got a wonderful night of sleep.
Yep.
Boom.
Amy says, I'm tired. When are we taking off?
Amy, is your cabin soundproof?
No.
We really got to get that fixed.
Modar,
That's all.
Modar pipes in that he's capable of turning off his auditory sensors when he deems it appropriate.
Clever. What a genius. This guy just keeps getting smarter and smarter.
Right?
And Dr.
well.
Albert probably has earmuffs that he wears.
Or whatever
sleeps.
counts as ears for a mantis.
For Mantis, I don't know. Morning comes on the planet that you have named Atlantis. A beautiful sunrise displays violet and magenta hues across the sky. Yes, but you can go out and work on it some more if you'd like.
Let's do it.
Who comes with you?
Let's do it. Amy, Modar, and the two gentlemen of fortune.
So Dr. Albert does not come with you.
He's chill.
Yeah.
He says that he wants to come with you.
Okay, he can come with.
Amy can stay behind. Because she had a rough night. And we're going to need Modar's help.
Okay, so the 1, 2, 3, 4 of you then?
Sure.
Good enough.
I
Okay.
like that question.
Just need to know because while you're walking to the ship, you get ambushed by 3 of the hyena dog things.
I'm totally expecting that and have my gun at the
I
ready.
knew it. I knew it.
For the reference, they're hyena kangaroos. Kangaroo combos.
Oh yeah. Hyena ruse. Got it.
Hyena roos. They take you by surprise. Wow. And they roll incredibly high for initiative.
So
Oh
it
yeah,
doesn't
well,
really matter. Hyena
Hey.
dogs?
They're like a combination between a hyena and a kangaroo.
Okay. Fortunately, we have the power of precedence on our side. So our damage is amplified.
precedents? No.
Yes, the precedents that we set last session for the way damage works. That
Precedents-
precedent.
And has been changed. The precedent has wisely followed George Washington's example and has stepped down, and there is a new precedent in town.
Precedent, not president.
Oh, sorry.
Precedent.
Thought you heard president. Too late. It's already canon.
What have you done?
Me, nothing.
Okay. So they're gonna attack first. Here's my question though: how are you guys going to arrange yourselves in terms of like front row, back row? For like, are you?
Mantis in the front, blasters in the back.
Modar doesn't have a weapon, so if he fights, he's going to be using his hands.
He's all the way in the back.
He's probably not going to be fighting. I boldly step
not even-
forward next to Dr. Stephen Albert to defend Modar.
So Dr. Albert and Voltron will be in the front row, and Jericho will be in the middle row, and Modar in the back.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay,
Just as
got
long
it.
as the enemy doesn't employ flanking maneuvers, we should be fine.
Well, remember it's a battle encounter, so they can't actually do that.
Right, okay.
Okay, the first one attacks Dr. Albert. It's good enough to hit.
No, Dr. Albert, dodge. Dodge like the wind.
See, he has to dodge low, and his dex is at 10. Wow, actually, he does dodge.
It's that innate mantis conditioning.
The second one also attacks Dr. Albert. Also good enough to hit. He does not dodge. It does. Let's see. It does 4 damage. Ouch.
Yikes. How much
Or Dr.
HPs
Stephen
does
Albert.
he have?
He has 10, so he's down to 6.
Ugh.
And the third one attacks Voltron. And it rolls a 2.
I fend him off magnificently with my aforementioned graceful maneuvers.
Right. So,
Those really aren't worth 4 mentions. Probably more like 2.
we'll go in a very arbitrary order and say that Jericho, it's your turn first.
Sweet. I shoot my blaster pistol at the one that is closest to me.
You shoot it at the one that is top on the row of 3.
Excellent. Shooting now. Rolling dice.
Rolling dice.
Moving mice. I rolled a 4. +1.
For Dex
My dex, but
is not good enough. The blaster bolt flies by the monster and hits the wall.
I never liked that wall.
Never
Now,
liked that wall
hold
anyway.
on a second. What do we roll blasters on?
You need to hit 7 for combat.
Just arbitrarily. What are we rolling on though? What?
You get a +1 if you have Dex. You get a Dex bonus to that. Also, if you have a level in combat, you get +1 to hit.
Okay. I'm rolling at the same target, I guess, because Wilberforce is having a rough day. I rolled a 9 +1.
Good enough to hit. He does not dodge. Roll for damage.
Is that a D6?
Yes, D6.
Okay.
Then what you get?
I rolled a 2.
2 minus 1 is 1 plus 1 plus 2 is that? Okay, sorry. You rolled a 2. And it's minus 1, which is 1, and you get +1 for rolling a pistol. So you do 2 damage?
You sound like you're asking me that question.
No, I'm asking me, actually.
Okay.
Because I'm still trying to remember how this
I can
works.
tell you how much damage I would do.
Yes, you do 2 damage.
I do 200 damage.
Fair.
Okay, it's Modar's turn. He runs at one of the enemies and attacks it with his bare hands.
Modar.
It
Oh,
does
Modar,
not,
what have you done?
does not dodge. Holy cow! He does 1 damage.
Wow.
Modar. Boss.
Incredible. Unbelievable.
I mean, he rolled max damage, which is the only reason he did damage.
Nicely done, Modar.
Dr. Albert attacks and rolls a 1, which
Ooh.
means that he
Somehow stabs
Turns himself into a newt.
turns himself into a... I'm gonna say he trips on the uneven footing of the slanted deck that you're fighting on and knocks himself unconscious.
Oh dear.
Because everything else I could think of that would be appropriate would have been worse.
I appreciate your restraint.
Okay, how long do you think he's gonna be unconscious?
Tough call.
Amy, get the smelling salts.
Get the smelling salts. Okay. Number 1 attacks you, Phil. You're the most obvious target that isn't unconscious.
That's right.
And it rolls a 2, which means it
Perfect.
also trips on the way over, but doesn't knock itself unconscious.
Once again,
the
my
second one,
elusiveness proves too much for these enemies.
the second one in line attacks you. This time it's good enough to hit. You'll have to try and dodge. You're rolling low. Your dex is... What is your dex?
12.
Your dex is 12, so you need to get a roll below a 6.
Wait, so I'm rolling a d20?
Yes.
I need
D20
to roll
aiming below a 6.
a 6 or below or a 5 or below?
6 or below.
Okay. 13.
Not good enough. Da-da-da-da. One. It does 2
How
damage.
much of a dodger?
2 damage. No.
Dodger. The artful dodger, you might call him.
Actually, I wouldn't.
Third one attacks Jericho.
How dare you attack your king?
That's good enough to hit. You're gonna have to try and dodge. Roll under a 6. A 6 or under, excuse me.
Oh, I rolled a 14.
14, no good. It does damage to you. It does. Ooh, it does 5 damage.
Again?
Holy cow! Yep, this time it actually does
Wrong
5
with these
damage.
things?
If we were doing the old system, you'd be much closer to being dead. All right.
It's like none of them have ever been told, don't bite the king.
Yeah, weird. It's like nobody ever
Yikes.
told him that. Jericho, by a verdict of my completely arbitrary turn system, you go first.
I yell at the top of my lungs, "Don't bite the king, you fools!"
You are meted with sounds of...
Nonetheless,
I
I
respond
appreciate
with-
your efforts.
and various gestures in Wilberforce's direction.
They respond with...
Exactly as predicted.
And,
It's a good thing talking is a free action because this is way too entertaining to shoot.
and they make, like, clawing gestures at Jericho.
I say, and I make the gesture of, like, no, waving them off.
And they go... And they make the gesture of, like, yes!
No! Fine.
Okay, enough
Shoot
of this.
these
I
idiots.
shoot the one that bit me.
Okay. You shoot the one that bit you?
No,
Yeah.
shoot the one that's damaged.
2 of them have taken damage at this point.
Oh,
The other one is the one that attacked you.
Regicide will not be tolerated.
you're shooting
Right.
one, man. We gotta focus fire here.
Make a roll for
Don't
it.
worry. I rolled a 12.
You roll a 12.
+1 from Dex, plus... Do I have +1 for having a blaster pistol?
Not to hit.
yet.
That's +1 for damage, and actually he rolls low enough to dodge,
Dang.
You gotta be kidding me.
which means it's Voltron's turn.
You should retreat to the med bay. I shoot at the one with the least amount of HPs.
Which would be the one on top, so fire away.
Okay, I rolled a 7 +1.
It's good enough to hit. He does not dodge. Oh, wait, shoot. He does dodge. Holy cow.
Jeez, these guys are crazy.
Modar sprints towards the one with the most damage.
Has Stephen Albert woken up yet? Can he help
Nope.
us out at all?
Wow. Holy cow. That one also dodges. Fortunately, Stephen... well, let me see if Stephen Albert... Yes, Albert does recover from his rather self-induced coma. All 3 of the animals look rather angry at Jericho, and they all look like they were about to attack him, except they saw Dr. Albert get up,
Oh,
and he's
dear.
clearly a more visual threat. So the 3 of them now attack him. The first one rolls a 1, which means it does damage to itself, giving itself 2 points of damage for reasons that are explainable. Let's say he
Magic.
trips and falls on a jagged piece of metal.
Yeah.
Or he is.
What did I say about regicide? Not tolerated.
The second one is
Not tolerated.
The second one is successful. Albert does not dodge. Not even close. Oh, shoot a pickle.
Is he dead?
He does-
Does he die?
5 damage. Oh, I forgot to say that. No, that's not true. Never mind. Sorry, he does 5 damage. Albert is hurting severely.
Jeez.
Stupid kangaroo dogs.
I know, right?
The third one rolls a 2. So he also trips and knocks himself unconscious because of the uneven footing in the same place that Dr. Albert knocked himself unconscious. So it's back to you,
Wasn't that
Jericho.
ironic? I shoot at the one that's not currently unconscious.
Right. Make a roll for it.
Natural 20.
Holy
Oh my gosh.
cow! He does not get to dodge.
Headshot.
You automatically do maximum damage, which is 7. No,
Hang on
6.
straight. When
Which
you
is
7,
6.
I have 12 strength.
Oh, yes, then it is 7. And he dies.
Headshot.
And you hit him so perfectly and soundly with your laser that your laser starts a fire on its fur, and it is now on fire.
I wave
That's right.
I wave my hands about in threatening gestures in an attempt to make the other conscious enemy flee.
It looks scared, but rather than fleeing, it becomes angered like a cornered cat. It is your turn, however.
Okay, I shoot it. If
Make a
will
roll for it.
flee, I will teach it the meaning of something. I'll teach it something. 11 plus 1.
11 plus 1. It does not dodge. Roll for damage,
I rolled a 1.
which means you do 1 damage.
I hit it in
Could've
the
been
baby
worse.
toe.
At
Ow.
least you didn't roll a 1 to attack.
That's fair. I would
Valid.
have killed Stephen Albert.
Valiantly, Modar runs forward and swinging, and he does roll a 1, which means he manages to swing and hit himself.
Kill Stephen Albert.
Fortunately, he is only capable of doing 1 damage to himself, which he does.
Which he does.
Dr. Albert is limping, and he actually only has 1 health at the moment. But he rolls a 19 on his attack,
Oh my gosh.
somehow summoning the strength to attack the one that is unconscious,
So brave.
and does 5 damage to it, which means he's down.
Wow.
It's the one in the middle's turn, and it, just having been attacked by Voltron, decides to attack Voltron. And it
right.
rolls a natural 20!
What?
It's okay.
Which means-
I'm fine.
It does 6 damage.
No.
I'm fine. It's just a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound. The third one is
Flesh
still
wounds are
unconscious.
bad.
The third one is still unconscious. Jericho, it's your turn.
I shoot the one that's messing with my brother.
Roll on.
I rolled a 2.
You rolled a 2. Your shot hits a structural element on the ship, and in a massive wall falls down, bringing up a cloud of dust, which will cause everybody to be at a -1 to hit.
Oh my gosh.
Voltron, your turn.
I shoot at the only conscious enemy.
Roll on it with a -1.
I rolled a 17.
Good enough to hit. He's also going to be at a -1 to dodge, or rather a +1. He does not dodge. Roll for damage.
6.
Oh my goodness! You do 6 damage. He dies.
I taught him a thing or two there, didn't I? I yelled to Stephen Albert, retreat to the medbay, quickly, after you take your turn.
Affirmative. Rightio, chap. Modar runs valiantly into the fray and completely misses.
Wait, the only other enemy is still unconscious, right?
Yep.
He misses the unconscious enemy?
I mean, Modar's hand-eye coordination is
not the
always-
best.
He also rolled a 3.
Okay.
Dr. Albert rolls a natural
At least he
20.
didn't roll a 2.
Holy cow,
And-
there's a lot of 20s.
With swift precision, decapitates
He's
the he like lurches forward with his
What
mantis
no one
claws.
told any of us was that, in the language of the mantis, what we say "run away" is actually translated as "kill them all now, immediately, with extreme prejudice."
And he does that. He reaches forward with the mantis claws and just like rips the thing in half.
What you don't know is mantis get stronger as they get damaged. There's like an enrage mechanic. As they get damaged, they get stronger and stronger. He rolled a 19 and a 20 when he was at 1 health. So...
Yep. We'll go with that. Which means the thing is dead, and you all...
Jeez.
And, you all get... the party gains XP. Everybody gets 3 kills for that.
Wait, so everybody gets the kills?
Yeah, I've decided that you're going to share XP for the kills if and only if they're done in a party setting like this on a planet. So if it's in a ship and it's like mano a mano, or even if it's in a ship and it's like 2 people fighting 1 guy in a room, it follows the ship combat mechanics, which are basically the same, only slightly different. So in that case, you would only get the XP if you get the killing shot. But in this case, everybody shares the XP because, yay, party.
Hooray!
Modar got 3 kills today, guys. A landmark day for Modar. This is big.
So, how much combat XP do we get individually?
3.
Cool.
Have you leveled up yet?
I don't think anybody's
I
level
am
up.
at 6.
Oh, I'm at 5.
And without further incident, you are able to secure the weapon.
After we go to the medbay and heal up.
Right, I was just saying.
After you all go to the medbay and heal up,
Okay,
you were able to
just
secure
making
the weapon
sure.
on your ship.
Sweet. Wow, that was a lot of work.
Now, you don't install it, obviously, because your ship is hardpoints are currently full. If you would like, you can take one of those weapons off and install this one.
How much damage does it do?
You won't be able to find that out unless you plug it into the computer's diagnostics.
What if
Let's
it's
plug it into the
first?
computer's diagnostics.
Modar is able to tell you that this thing is a multi-shot weapon.
Wait. Just let me get this straight. Modar is our ship's computer diagnostics.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, fine. He plugs it, the ship computer tells you that this thing does.
No, it's much more fun with Modar being a diagnostics engine.
Fine. Modar is able to plug himself into this weapon as
Sweet.
an NG and tell you that it does 1 damage per shot. It has two armor piercing. It does. It has 4 shots and a cooldown of 5. And it's a tier 2 weapon.
Oh, so we can't.
So we can't equip it yet.
You can't equip it yet, but he mentions that this sort of weapon is not normally seen in legal weapons markets.
So basically, we're awesome.
So we should put it in the cargo hold and cover it with space kegs. So
Space kegs full of contraband.
He doesn't. He
That's a
says
good
he
point.
doesn't say it's necessarily. He doesn't necessarily say it's an illegal weapon. Just that you normally wouldn't find it from legal weapons dealers.
So it's like a pulse laser, is what you're saying.
It's more like a quad laser. In fact,
Quad
that's actually what it's called on my sheet.
Okay, it's a quad laser. Check.
It shoots 4 times, and it has 4 shots per volley, and a cooldown of 5 turns. 2 armor piercing on those, and 1 damage per shot.
Sorry, can you get that in Hangouts or say it again?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Oh man.
And I think it's a great place to stop for the night.
I'm okay with this. Sweet. Nice work, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Crew, it's been good. Let's all head in for another night of sleep after our recovery in the medbay, etc.
Indeed, I concur, except for the fact that it's only noon. But I think it's a good time to break for lunch.
Relax. Yes. Let's have a lunch break.
Lunch is not something I require to function.
All right, Modar. Just because you're better than us doesn't mean you have to brag about it, okay?
Amy's like, yeah,
You know.
well, I require lunch to function, so we're gonna break for lunch.
All right.
GG's.
GG.
GG, GG, GG.
Oh, before you guys go, I should tell you that I've started working on ideas for the next campaign we will play together.
Oh,
After this campaign,
is it awesome?
actually, I'm thinking of maximizing all. My plan for it is to maximize all of the awesomeness I can possibly maximize.
But then there will be nowhere to go.
Like
but up.
literally, I've designed it to maximize the elements of tabletop role-playing games that are fun and minimize the elements that are not. I don't know if I'm going to succeed or not, but my idea is that you guys will play ninjas.
In
I'm
pajamas.
on board with this.
That like already start the game at pretty awesome levels of awesomeness.
Interesting concept.
The
Ninja
idea-
string to string concept.
It's gonna be. My idea is that like
Bands.
starting out the game, you're gonna be like 2 or 3 level steps down from being Dynasty Warrior characters.
Nice.
I'm okay with this.
In a world that is mostly designed around the rule of cool, with mechanics, weapons, and loot that are all designed around. This sounds cool. Let's do this. I'll tell you more about sometime when I actually have more to deal with, because I'm still working on mechanics, but I have lots of cool ideas for the game itself. But we can talk about that later, because I'm kind of tired.
Awesome.
Okay.
Very GG's,
Good time to break.
friends.
Yes, indeed. GG's.